My name is Justine. I'm the program director of Come to the Table, which is a program of RAFI-USA, and we're excited to share more about what we do. And I'll let my other colleague introduce himself real quick.
Welcome, and thanks for having us. My name is Jared White. I'm the Farm and Faith Partnerships Project Manager with Come to the Table. And I'll also be passing out some of our information as well.
Thank you.
Great. Has anyone heard of Come to the Table or been to any of our conferences in the past? So a couple of folks. We had our last conference, which is what we're most known for, gathering food and faith interested folks together every other year. This year it was virtual. We will be back hopefully in person in 2024. It's every other year. So I would love to get a sense of who's in the room and what brings you here. If we wouldn't mind doing some introductions around the table, and we can keep them brief. So maybe just share your name, maybe what town or county you traveled from today, and something I like to call new and good, which is please share one new and or good thing that's happened in your life in the past week. So I will start. My name is Justine. I live in Alamance County, North Carolina, so I didn't travel too far today. Something new and good this week is we've got cooler weather. I woke up yesterday and I checked the weather and it was 55 degrees and I was very, very, very happy about it. So that's a new and good for me. Can I pass it to you? Is that all right?
Yes, I am Joy Jones, and I am from Alexander County, which is the western part of the state. And new and good this week. I took today off from work, which is really good. A whole day.
A whole day. And you decided to be here.
And it is for self-care.
Yes.
Today is a self-care day for me.
Good. Thank you.
My name is Rosalind Lentz. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm born and raised there, and I'm from Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. I'm one of the coordinators of our health promotion ministry. And good, I just recently, my youngest daughter, though I don't look like it, I do have my youngest daughter is 22, and she graduated back in May, and the good part, she had 2 job interviews this week for employment. So
That's great. Amazing. Thank you. Can we go to the back table, please?
Are we here at this table?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Alethea Weston. I am from Cumberland County, but I'm originally from South Carolina.
All right.
I am a member of Williams Chapel and Design Church, which is located in Maxton, North Carolina. And I was short for words because I kind of sneaked out of work today myself. So my memory is not working right now. But I am happy to be here, and the good thing is that God gave us traveling grace to this meeting or this self-care setting today. And I hope that, and I'm praying that we get that same traveling grace to go home.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm from Maxton, North Carolina, and I am a graduate of North Carolina A&T. I won't tell you how long but I was telling my girlfriend as we were coming up today, we have been together since primary school.
Wow.
About 8 years old.
And she asked me to come, and I agreed. I've had a wonderful 2 days. This is our 2nd day together. And we don't need a lot, but just talking and fellowshipping with people has been a joy to me. And when I first came here, I looked around, it looked kind of strange to me. I looked around and I saw different people, and I was amazed at the difference in the people and the difference that the people were making in me.
Wow.
And I'm so grateful. I met a lady, Miss Annie. I don't know her last name, but she was so accepting of us yesterday at dinner. She didn't know me from Adam. Francine knew of her, but she didn't know me. But she was so friendly. I just wanted to sit there and because she was so giving. She didn't mind sharing. That's right, information with us. And that's the way it has been for me these whole 2 days. I look at people and I guess they say, she must be new to this. I am. But I don't mind. I'm enjoying myself.
Good.
And I don't have to worry about nobody seeing me on camera because I am retired. I did my time. And I did about 30 years for the U.S. Navy.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for your service.
I am grateful to be alive. And I told my girlfriend, my mother was 95 years old when she passed. So if I make it to 75, I'm close. But if I make it to 75, I'm grateful. And I'm so happy to meet so many smiling faces here. Because I didn't know what kind of stuff she was getting into. And I'm the type of person, she said, well, Gloria, come on and go with me. No, I ain't gonna go. And she asked me one more time, okay. So I don't mind going nowhere with her because I know she's not going to take me anywhere that I'm not supposed to be. She always looks out for me because she knows I'm kind of slow. But she always looks out for me because my brothers and her brothers tell her, you better watch her. You better do what you're supposed to do. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be here because every time I look around, I don't see a frown, I see a smile. And that makes a difference to me.
Thank you. And you know, I haven't seen Miss Francine in a long time, but I'm just so happy to see you. I can't believe it.
Good seeing you too. My name is Francine McLaurin, and I attend St. Matthew's Metropolitan A&E Zion Church in Maxton, where I'm the health lead with Partners in Health and Wholeness. And for me, it's just wonderful to be able to be around people, to learn more information, to be able to go back to my community and share. I'm also retired. I'm also a military veteran, Air Force, flight nurse. And so thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Great.
Clarence Weston from Cumberland County. I want to thank Francine for introducing me to this. This is new for me. Amen. And I hope that I'll be able to stay here and be able to help, Maxton community or wherever I go next.
All right, wonderful. Methodist Church.
From this. Amen.
Thank you. How about you folks here? Do you mind introducing yourselves?
Oh, I am Gwen Wise Blackman. I am from Cary, North Carolina. I'm the pastor of Union Bethel AME Church in Cary. And the good thing that happened this week is we're part of a coalition of churches that received a grant to start a community-supported agricultural network.
Well, you are in the right room. If you want some help connecting to farmers, if you want some help figuring it out.
Definitely the seeds.
Okay.
That's our first step.
Okay.
So definitely want to connect.
Great.
Amen.
You are in the right room.
I'm Irving Milton. I'm pastor of Union Chapel United Church of Christ in Burlington. And I have been able to the farm that I grew up on, I wanted to leave when I got 18, and now it's my joy, it's my restoration. So,
Thank you.
My name is Erica Funk. I am the director of Cross Missions, which is a ministry of Myers Park Presbyterian Church in Charlotte. Our program hosts church youth groups to engage in service to others, discipleship, and getting into advocacy and social justice, and urban farming is one of my favorite things. That's why I'm here.
Great.
And I'm grateful to be here.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Rouse. I'm actually from Cumberland County, born in Cumberland County, but I currently live in Forsyth County. I'm a pastor, Piney Grove East Missionary Baptist Church in Marchville, which is kind of a small city outside of Charlotte. And I'm also the Faith and Food Coordinator for Resourceful Communities in Chapelville. So I'm following in Justine's footsteps.
Resourceful Communities, as Ms. Francine will say, is another organization y'all need to get to know. So I'm going to plug them because they're amazing and they've got a lot of resources. And David, you need to introduce yourself too.
I'm David. I am the program manager over at Come to the Table. I am from Cleveland County and now live in Durham County. So a little bit different part of the state, but born and raised in Shelby and now live in Durham. And new and good, I had something. What was it going to be? I ate a good meal last night. Steak. I cooked a steak, which I very rarely do. That was new and good. Yep.
Great, thanks. And then Jared, you already introduced yourself, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I shared my new and good though.
That's true.
Yeah, we need to
My new and good would be I will likely be going on a vacation to Puerto Rico, which I'm really excited about. Never traveled overseas by myself and for a vacation, so definitely happy to get some rest and try some amazing food for sure.
So he timed that perfectly because we're going to offer all this amazing, exciting things and ways you can connect with Rafi, and then he's leaving town.
Yep.
So then you're going to either wonder what happened or you're just going to call me. So either way. Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Esther Ross Hines. I have a nonprofit called Circle Friends Task Force, and we provide education to ministers, faith leaders, to reduce stigma in North Carolina. I'm from Pitt County, North Carolina. We serve 11 counties. And I'm here just to get more information and to learn how to partner with different things because with North Carolina is a lot of different community issues, especially dealing with food insecurities. And I wanted to come to this particular workshop just to learn more about that so that I could take back and give out to people in the community. And I'm glad to be here. And I need to say that I want to thank God because I had a procedure done yesterday and I was able to come this morning. So thank God that everything came out all right.
All right.
So I thank God for that.
Thank you. All right. Well, just since one of my dear friends just walked in the door, I'm going to put her on the spot, even though she's got here. We're just introducing ourselves. So if you wanted to share your name and where you traveled from today, and anything new and good in the last week in your life.
Well, the good thing is that I'm alive and well. And that we had a safe trip. And and the other good thing is that we grew 1,500 pounds of watermelons this year.
Wow.
And my name is Veronica Watson, and I'm from Queens United Methodist Church, or Green Thumbs Community Garden. And we've been doing this since 2013. And I'm from Sanford, North Carolina.
Thanks for being here. All right. Well, I realized that I don't have the little clicker. Thanks, Elizabeth. Rural Advancement Foundation International USA. That's us. We just go by RAFI. It's a weird name. We can be honest about that, so we can call ourselves RAFI. Our overall mission is to challenge the root causes of unjust food systems, supporting and advocating for economically, racially, and ecologically just farm communities. We have a lot of different programs. I encourage you to come to our table. Come to the table. Ha, I didn't even need to do that. We do have a very good explanation of a lot of the various programs that we offer and that we do and support. Us at Come to the Table, next slide please, is that we engage faith communities in this work. So we bring churches and other worshiping communities into the work of creating a just food system. Whether that is helping your food pantry, thinking about accessing healthier foods or more locally grown foods to support your local farmers, whether it's providing trainings and workshops and resource connections. We want to be at the intersection of connecting your faith community to better, more just food systems. And can you go back real quick? I just want to say briefly, we're going to share a little bit about what that actually looks like, but I do want to say broadly, if there's something related to food or local farmers, whatever it is, like myself, Jared, and David are your contacts, and we'd love to check in with you and talk with you about that. I'm going to pass it to David to talk about one of our programs.
I'm going to quickly plug a couple things that we do that if you sit through this presentation and you're interested in our work, these are things that are exciting that we're up to. First, we have the School for Food Justice, Faith, and Storytelling right here. This is a fellowship that we did in 2021, and we're starting again in January of 2023, where we bring together faith leaders to investigate root causes of hunger, uncover and challenge dominant narratives around hunger and food insecurity, and then plan to implement a new or adapt an existing ministry to address food insecurity in your community. So this lasts for about 4 months. We'll do bi-weekly sessions, or bi-monthly. I never know if it's bi-weekly or bi-monthly. Twice a month, once every 2 weeks, where we bring faith leaders together to discuss these issues. It was really powerful to be a part of in 2021, and we hope it will again in 2023. So that's something exciting that we have coming up. And then I'll also plug our regional gathering that we have coming up on September 29th, which is not far away, believe it or not, just a couple weeks from now, in Mocksville, North Carolina, so not too far down the road. We've had 2 of these so far this summer, one in Mills River in the western part of the state and one in Goldsboro in the eastern part of the state. So now we're having our last one for the year in central North Carolina. And at this gathering, we are going to have presentations on hospitality and policy as it pertains to food ministries, digging a little deeper into what it means to be hospitable in the food ministry setting and what it means to advocate both, at a big level policy and also changing policies at your own food ministry as well. At our Eastern gathering, Veronica was our partner presentation, and we will have another one with Smith Grove United Methodist Church. They have a farmers market at their church. They're going to be there to talk to us about how it started, some creative ways that your own communities can get involved. And that'll be it for me. I'll pass it now to Jared.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, within the Come to the Table program, the primary project that we'll kind of be walking through today is the Farm and Faith Partnerships Project. So the goal of the Farm and Faith Partnerships Project is to work against injustices in the food system that harm farmers of color and rural communities. And we do this by creating mutually beneficial, self-sustaining economic partnerships between farmers of color on the one hand and faith groups and faith communities that are local to them and close to them on the other. So ideally, these relationships result in farmers of color gaining additional sources of income and increased access to new local markets. And for rural community members, this means increased food security and access to fresh, healthy foods, as well as the knowledge and experience of kind of being able to know exactly who's growing your food, where it comes from, how it's being grown, how it's being treated. And so our goal through these farm and faith partnerships is that congregations are able to participate in the building of thriving local food systems and economies, while also engaging in relational ministries with farmers and their communities. So I think here we're going to play a quick video that kind of highlights an example of what
the
these
land you have
partnerships
now,
look like.
That's all you get. They're not making any more in your land. It's a tough business, especially for a black farmer. Black farmers, they were not treated fairly. I know a lot of the black farmers in our area that had really decent sized farms. They opted to sell it and get out of it. I worked for a bank for 20 years. So if you're going to talk about a problem
they would always say, follow the money. Government-funded programs have been available for white farmers and not for black farmers. It's very easy to lose in this game. If people lost their land, it went back to the banks, and then the banks used that to start building subdivisions and all kinds of fancy projects, and the land was gone.
As we've seen over the years, the black farmland has basically deteriorated. There's not as many black farmers who own land anymore. I've always lived on this property. I was born and raised right over there. My grandparents were sharecroppers. They didn't own their own land. They lived with a white farmer. Basically, they were providing labor and everything to help get the crop in. They didn't really share in the profits, and they wanted to be able to do it for themselves. My grandmother, she was reading in the paper. There was a program, a FSA program, that farmers could purchase land. My grandfather couldn't read, and she read it to him, and he was just kind of thinking, we can't afford to do that, and we're not in a position to do that. We're sharecroppers and, and so forth. So she just said, well, we can go and apply and see. And that's what they did. They went and applied, and they were very blessed in being able to get the approval.
My father used to tell me there were 3 types of people, and that was A, those that don't know what's happening, those that are waiting for something to happen, and those that make things happen. So I try to stay in category number 3 if I can.
Back in the fall of 2020, we had had all these contentious elections and the pandemic was going on. I was angry, and I was tired of being angry, and I knew I needed something positive. The chair of our environmental justice group had heard about this idea about possibly having these farm-to-church CSAs.
People were enthusiastic about it, and it felt like people were intrigued by the idea of getting local produce that was fresh every single week delivered to the church. It felt like something tangible that we could do to invest in the community and to promote justice and equality and sustainability.
I sent out a couple of emails, and I was hoping to get, 5 to 10 people, and I got like 60 responses. So I said, well, I think this is something that people would be interested in.
CSAs came from the black farmers. They couldn't penetrate the white markets. So they would grow things and then they would sell among themselves. So that's kind of where the concept of community-supported agriculture came from. It caters more to the small guys than it does the big conglomerates. It kind of guarantees you have somewhere to sell your produce and that you're going to get a reasonable, decent price for it. Let's see, get her this down. We sell shares. In other words, everybody that's a member of this CSA, they share in everything that all the farmers grow. Every time I leave on my van, everything in there has already been paid for. Before we even put a seed in the ground, a lot of times we've already been paid for it.
From the beginning, we talked about relationship building in addition to the produce. And I think that's probably, from my perspective, one of our biggest successes. Now, if there's a rainstorm, I'm thinking about the crops. And if there's a drought, I'm thinking, oh my golly, I hope our crops are okay.
God commands us to be good stewards of the earth and its resources and to build relationships in the community. Relationships that are just and equitable and relationships that lift one another up. Theologically, it's like right in line with everything we say we believe.
I love church people. They realize that they can make a difference. And they're making a difference, and I'm making a difference here, so we're all making a difference in the right direction. And lo and behold, it's a lot more fun. Now this one is
CSAs allow us to invest in the community and to create relationships and to be good stewards of the land, which is what God has called us to do. Having the support of RAFI really made this project successful.
Potatoes is 6.
I don't know if we could have done it on our own as just a single church with this vision, but having this partner in the community who's already connected with farmers and doing really good justice work, I think ensured that the project was successful. You get to partner with other churches.
the land you have now, that's all you get. They're not making any more new land. We're all making a difference in the right direction. And lo and behold, it's a lot more fun.
Really good justice work, I think ensured that the project was successful. You get to partner with other churches as well, so you're not only partnering with farmers, but you're creating a network of churches in your area that care about food justice and equity.
The CSA model has been almost a godsend to us. My grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will have something that they can look at and look at what my grandparents did or my great-grandparents did. I've been very happy with the program.
So yeah, that's a little bit of a summary of kind of the ways in which we connect farmers of color with different faith communities. And so I should say, pictured here are farmers Demetrius Hunter, and then Ken Daniel is on the right, and he was featured in the video. So our first pilot project was in Wake County. We started with 3 farmers in 8 different faith communities throughout Wake County. And that CSA started in spring 2021, and it's still going. They just finished their 5th season this past summer. They'll be going into the fall. We also, in addition to the more urban counties, Wake and Durham and Forsyth, we're also able to do some work in more rural counties such as Greene County. So they just had their first season this past spring. And so if we move to the next slide. Awesome. So a big question might be, how does this work? How can you get involved? How can you kind of figure out a way to navigate these partnerships? And of course, as Justine has already mentioned, all of us are here to support. And so if you ever have any questions or need guidance or resources and things like that, we're definitely here. But it's actually not necessarily as complicated as it might look. So first, we just look at the context, right, and do a relationship assessment, figure out if there are already food-based partnerships going on in the context, and figuring out if we can support work that's already happening on the ground and making sure that it's a good fit. Second, if there isn't, then we, as RAFI staff, we do outreach to farmers in our network. I happen to be wearing a Farmers of Color Network shirt at the moment. So RAFI has connections with farmers of color all throughout the Southeast, and particularly North Carolina. And so there's a pretty good chance that whatever county you're in North Carolina, that will know a farmer or know a farmer who knows a farmer. And then from there, we help those parties kind of get together and commit to building this relationship. Because it is more than just purchasing food, it's more than just a contract. What we're looking for are sustaining partnerships that go beyond just purchasing food. We want partnerships that each party is able to mutually invest. Could you go back to the previous? Oh, perfect. And then after that, we help facilitate kind of introductory meetings and help with community outreach. So perhaps you might be interested, your congregation or organization. We can help you with outreach. We can help you get the word out in your local communities, finding other organizations that might want to join the same CSA. And the main reason we do that is to make sure that it's profitable for the farmer. As Reverend Brown mentioned in the video, perhaps you have a congregation or an organization that has 50 people or 100 people, and maybe 5 to 10 people might be interested. If you have multiple organizations, that makes it much more profitable and sustainable for the farmer. And so after all of that is put together, we often like to host some kind of celebration. Building a CSA and developing it is a lot of hard work. And so we definitely want to make sure that there's relationship, especially during the pandemic. That has been difficult. When we're doing organizing work, there have been people, I can think of one person who's here in particular, who we've been working together for over a year, but we've never seen each other face to face. We're just, faces on a screen. And so something that we like to facilitate, we call the blessing of the land. So basically, at the beginning of each season, all of the faith communities will gather on the land of the farmer and bless it, celebrate together, share food, things like that. And we can also help with ongoing maintenance and follow-up as well. Perfect. And so during this event, I think from 12 to 2, we will have a farmer's market out on Green Street. So pictured here are Howard Allen and Samantha Winship. Howard is part of the Farmers of Color Network, as well as Samantha. And Samantha also helped facilitate our Forsyth County CSA. So they will be here, as well as, Kamal Bell and Steve Moore as well. So several of the farmers that we've worked with before will be here today, selling produce, and you can chat with them about their experiences, and also just try their produce. I'm sure it'll be great. I will have some as well. And next slide, please. And there's our information. If you ever need any resources, support, information, things like that, I believe our information is on the handouts as well.
Okay. But
definitely reach out.
And we've got a farmer's market voucher for $15, so please go spend it with the farmers. We want everybody to take home produce.
Are there any questions that we can answer right now in the next 10 minutes or so? Yes.
My question is, we're faith-based, we have a church, we have a garden at our church, not a farm. We have land that's available. We have some financial resources. We need more financial resources, but also we need partnership to assist us in maintaining the garden and even possibly expanding. Do y'all offer resources for that also? And we have only given things away. So we set up our produce stand every Sunday from the harvest from the week, and then after our members get the produce on site, we pack it up and take it either to a local food bank or to a local soup kitchen, so that nothing goes to waste. Mm-hmm. And we only do that probably from April to October. But we need some guidance and some assistance. Would y'all be able to assist with something like that? We're in Alexander County.
Alexander County. Yeah, I'm certainly happy to kind of brainstorm with you based on some of my past work. I used to support a lot of community gardens, and I kind of know the pros and cons, the good, the bad, the ugly of community gardens, right? It's a lot of work, and it's really hard to sustain volunteers. It's really hard to get folks out there and making sure that the produce gets to the people who really need it, right? I can certainly point you to some resources. I think our primary focus right now is connecting to the farmers who are looking for markets and looking for that access to build up their viability. And we really see that as an opportunity to partner. So even if you're looking for someone to, manage the land and you're looking for a farmer connection, we can maybe help talk with you about that. I think there are a lot of different models of community gardening or farming. that still allow food to be donated and shared in a way that's free, in a way that is filled with grace, and allow for that farmer to have access to land and practice and grow their business. And so I think there's a way for both and. So certainly happy to have a conversation with you about it. I do know some folks at Resourceful Communities do have some resources for gardens. And so you might want to visit their table as well.
Say that again.
Resourceful Communities, they're out across the way. They're a resource booth. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. But I do know because, they do have a lot of resources, and there are people in the room too. I know Miss Veronica might have some ideas for you here because she manages the garden, and you've had a lot of success and some challenges too. And so I would, rely on some peers too to ask a lot of those questions, because those are going to be the people that support you the most, I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is a big overarching question. Why partner with churches? Particularly thinking about the CSAs. Like why not, the Y or Walgreens or schools? What's your philosophical or theological reason for partnering with churches specifically?
Go ahead, Jared. I got some answers, but go for it too.
I think practically and philosophically, of course, our program, we do a lot of work with faith communities in general. So those are the kinds of communities that we know best. We do have a couple of other kinds of communities that we do happen to work with. But at least in my experience, and I would definitely love to hear from David and Justine, is churches, in terms of looking at churches as a market for a farmer's products. Churches, in many ways, relationality is kind of baked in, right? That when we have someone who's excited about this idea and they go back to their church, they have committees, they have groups, they have Bible studies, prayer meetings, and relationality is kind of baked in. Whereas other kinds of communities, you might not know people that well, and there might not be that same relational muscle, if that makes sense. And I think theologically, it gives churches an opportunity to share in a lot of the vulnerability that farmers face. When farmers plan and they plant, so many months goes into the produce before they even put anything into the ground. And then once it's in the ground, they then have to shift and become marketers and advertisers and find kind of markets for their products. And that's a lot of vulnerability, right? That's where a lot of the food waste in the food system comes from, farmers who can't find a market for all of their products. And so through the CSA model, churches are kind of able to live into the theological value of vulnerability that we see in like the incarnation and things like that, where God kind of chooses to become vulnerable and share that with us.
Yeah. And I also think, like Reverend Lacey said in the video, churches are often looking for a way to participate in this bigger economy that's not so capitalistic, right? So that seeks partnerships that are ecologically just and that are economically just. And so it's their way of practicing their faith, really, to say, instead of buying, even if it is just one bag of produce a week, it's that you're shifting that money and that resource to someone who would benefit for, like, more insurmountably than, say, Food Line or Ingles. Not to say anything bad about our current food system, although you can say a lot of bad things about it. But it's just it's a theological commitment. It's an active service, really, to your local economy. To say, I'm going to make a conscious decision and a prayerful decision to support my neighboring farmer and to do that work. Yeah. Any other last questions or thoughts?
I was going to ask, you mentioned there's a couple events mentioned here.
Yeah.
Is this where you're located? Where are these events happening?
No, we usually go where we usually have events throughout the state. So the first one, the one that's on September 29th, is in Moxville, North Carolina, at a church. It's called Smith Grove United Methodist Church. They've been a partner with us, and they've had a farmer's market, and they've done 2 years of hosting a farmer's market at their church. So they're going to kind of talk about how that opportunity has been and kind of some of the, and then we're going to have some kind of programming and teaching things too. The last event that that's going to be happening in Hillsborough in the Triangle area, and that's going to be kind of an intro to some of our our School for Food Justice, Faith and Storytelling work. We're going to have, that's more for faith leaders and lay leaders interested in storytelling and interested in kind of how we can use that concept of storytelling to really get at communicating with other church members or other community members around kind of hunger and telling the story of hunger, how we think about those stories and what parts of those stories are true and are not true, and how are they valuing everyone in their community. And so that's going to be a day-long kind of workshop that will be coming up soon.
I just wanted to throw in there that if any of that stuff interests you, we passed out the our latest printed newsletter, and somewhere on here, we have on the bottom our RAFI-USA, but there is I thought there was a
QR code?
QR code, but I don't see it.
Well, there's one at our booth to sign up for our newsletter.
There we go. If you want to stop by the booth, we have a QR code that you can sign up for the newsletter, or we can give you the website to sign up to it, and that's where we'll pass out information. The School for Food Justice, Faith and Storytelling, the applications are opening in October, so that's where you would find out if you were interested in applying for that. We can definitely get you more information there, or we're happy to take your email and get you signed up for the list. We only send one a month. I promise we won't spam. So.
Great. Well, we encourage you to visit some of the farmers that are in our network and talk with them. They're awesome, and they've brought some